Hello YouTube, today we have, that's right, something from the archives here, an MP3 player. This is the Moddi M350, and this comes in a couple of different variants, and the reason I'm doing this review is I was recently watching some other reviewers review MP3 players and realized that someday this will die on me. This is my beloved iPod Nano. I hate Apple, just so you know, but or I just don't like their business practices in general, and I don't use the iPhone or MacBook or any of that stuff. But I've used this iPod for so long. This is before Batterygate. This is the original battery. It's a 16 gigabyte green version. I don't even know what generation this was. It was one of the first generations that the Nano came out, so either first or second gen of the Nano series. But I strictly use it for running. I have like a little, I do run a case on it. So, I mean, this is my third case. I've broken that many cases for this thing. It still holds, you know, about 3 hours of charge, and it's plenty for, you know, a long run or a bike ride, and I take it with me everywhere. Only thing I do really is I clean it out. But enough about the Apple product. I was thinking, when this does die, and eventually it will, I'm not going to go buy a new iPod. I just don't want to support Apple, and they're so expensive now, and I don't like the way I have to manage my files with an iPod. I don't want to, Apple. I want to be able to control it, just throw them on a hard drive or a micro SD card and be done. Okay? I want to be able to share it with my friends. I want easy file transfer. Okay, I'm tired of your rules. So we go over here to the Moddi 350, M350, and I got this one because I read a bunch of reviews and everyone was saying this is probably the best bang for your dollar budget MP3 player. It plays lossless audio. It comes with 8 gigs internal storage with a micro SD slot for, it says up to 128 gigabytes, but I'm sure you can throw even more into that. You got a little keychain hole here. Yes, a headphone jack. You have a physical on and off switch. This is where I don't like it very much, is because this is an older model. Actually, it's been out for a little while. It takes the micro USB, thus slower file transfers as opposed to if you go to like a USB 3.0. And then also, you know, that port over time will get damaged when you plug in, plug out all the time. Now, do know I just finished my battery test and I had received about 14 hours of continuous playback with this battery on full charge. We'll show you in a second. It does have a nice little color screen here, and the tactile touch buttons are a nice touch that you can move around the menu like this. Now, it does come in a different language when you get it, so you need to go into settings, which is the one all the way on the bottom, click into it, and then change your language. It also has a version of Tetris. You can watch photos and videos as well, but I probably wouldn't recommend that. But for music, it's plenty good. On the back here, you have a lock and unlock so you don't accidentally hit something, and then you have this record button right here. Yes, this thing has a microphone, and it also has a speaker on the back side as well. So a lot going on here for a sub $50 MP3 player. You have a back button, an A, B button, a volume button. M, I think, is menu. You got play, and then you got left and right. Now, the controls can definitely be clunky sometimes, but just right off the bat, is it worth the money? Yes, especially when you consider this is a nice, hefty, when I say hefty, that's actually a downside to me, is it's a little on the heavy side between the battery and then the aluminum construction. However, it's really well made. If you're putting this in like your backpack as a student, this is definitely going to hold up as opposed to some other ones I have seen. So, as far as construction, great. Sound quality, in the speaker, no. And these headphones we provide, no. But in headphones and the audio you can put on here, I put some lossless audio on here. Really good thumbs up. It's very good for the price. So here we are on the menu here. And so we can just go over to music, and I've, you know, all songs or artists. I put some Mozart on here. And that is music coming out the back. If I want to record, I can just press the record button. I can pause. There's other ways to change shuffle play and repeat play. Saying earlier, the navigation's a little weird. See how I have to go in the lower right? And then now to go up is actually left. Like you have to go, because there's no up and down or not. Volume and menu button are actually like inputs in the menu. They're not necessarily directional. So I can go all songs, play, and then you can see all my songs here, and I can sort through them, and then play, and it should start playing. Volume, easy to get to. You can see I'm at full volume. The volume is pretty linear, you know, 10 volume compared to 20 volume is pretty direct. Sometimes you'll play something and 10 is not loud at all, and you go up to 20 and it blows your ears out. So as far as that regard, it's good. So movies, if you have I did actually transfer a video. Oh, I didn't find it, so I'll have to play with that a little bit more, but don't watch a video on this. It's not good for that. It does have a radio. I noticed it only goes into 3 territories though. It's ebook. Yeah, I don't know why you'd be using it for ebook reader. Browse, you can browse the whole SD card, or so you could put a folder in here and just put a playlist in a folder and play it that way, and just play the folder, have it shuffle the folder. So tools, this is where you have an alarm, a stopwatch, a calendar, and bricks. Calendar is really, you can't actually keep dates in there. It's more of just a reference calendar. And then bricks is the Tetris game. In case you get bored, you can start playing Tetris. And I think it's play that moves that pauses. Okay, that moves the piece, and then you can press volume down, I believe, to just drop the piece. See, like that. You can play with the music, repeat, shuffle, equalizer. You can change your record settings, like what kind of quality you want to record in, high or normal. Text settings, auto play time. Radio settings is where you can pick your region. Like I said, you have China, Japan, and Europe. Picture settings, autoplay, like how much rotation time. Speaker setup, which is more equalizer stuff, I believe. Oh, whether you want to open or close speakers. Power off, to turn it off. You can even just turn off the switch. I guess they just have a software version as well. Display settings, brightness, and backlit timer. You can see brightness. Oh, we're not even at the brightest. Let's go all the way up. Language is there's still more. You can see the menu. I'm not all the way done yet, but language is here, and then you can see English is the third one down on this menu. And then system, you can update your firmware, upgrade, factory reset. And then date and time, to change that, I don't think I have mine correct. And then exit settings. And then that brings us back to the home page. So it does attract fingerprints really easily, as you see. But as I said, the buttons feel really good, really tactile. The menu buttons are okay, not amazing. As you saw there, sometimes I would click and there'd be a little delay or it wouldn't play. But just everyday use, I'm sure it would be just fine. So here's my only issue with the iPod. As you see here, you insert it, and if you don't have iTunes installed, you can't really add songs, manage it. You can download third-party software like CopyTrans, which is the one I've been using forever. You can see I have installed CopyTrans Manager. So I go ahead and I start it up, and I can go ahead and transfer music. A couple things with these old iPods is some of them actually have a very limited file extensions you can use. Like, they don't necessarily allow for lossless audio. Now the newer ones obviously do, but do note that when you buy a newer iOS device, like a new iPod, you're spending a lot more money, and a lot of this video is about a budget MP3 player. Now, here's a lot of old music. Don't judge me. I have, probably, this is music from back when I was in high school that I've been collecting throughout the years. Back when the Killers were really big. But primarily I use my my iPod for running and exercising. These are if you're wondering, these are my how to get pumped up songs. So some No Effects, Find the Finger, Death Punch, anything Avenged Sevenfold, usually a good time. Day to Remember is pretty good. More Avenged Sevenfold, some Devil Driver, Emery, Muse. Some old My Chemical Romance, some Slayer, a little bit of everything, Bring Me to the Horizon. All right, I like the old 21 Pilots, the new stuff I'm not so sure about. Some hip hop, more Muse, Pantera, Thrice, Deftones. Okay, Punko's 90. It's a pretty cool version of Nine Inch Nails. There's some Nine Inch Nails on here, Tool, stuff like that. Anyways, so here's my iPod, and basically you could drag and drop in this program, and it's actually fairly easy. Like, I can manage my playlists here, add a new playlist, sort everything. I can, obviously a lot of this stuff was downloaded, so not all the file names and everything is correct. So I could, I've just never
really done all that stuff. But when you're done, you just hit this little update button and you're done. The only, and I think there's a way to export as well. That's something I don't like is, let's say I want to share some of these songs. They don't make it really easy for you to use this like a hard drive where you can drag and drop. And so that's really where I'm kind of dissing the iPod. Like, it's just not user-friendly, it's not unlocked, and it's very much, especially for a newbie, you're very much locked into the Apple ecosystem, which is something I'm not necessarily a fan of. So I just want to show you really quick how I, manage my iPod, and it's fine, it's good, but there's a lot of caveats, and there's a lot of things I don't like about that control. For my little bit of usage, it's fine, but for anyone else who wants to do a lot more than this, it's obviously limited. So next up we have our M350. And as you see, it's recognized as a USB drive, which makes it really easy to format. Remember, it is only a 8 gigabyte internal storage. So even, I've already added some songs in here, but total, it actually gets almost the full 8 gigabytes, which is nice. Now, no, this takes micro SD cards. If you have a micro SD card, you can either insert that by itself, or I believe if it's in the player, you should just get another drive here, or be able to have multiple folders. And this is really where this is good and bad. The good is I can easily just go grab a ton of songs and drag them and drop them onto this player. And it's the USB connection is actually kind of slow to USB 2.0, so that's actually a downside to this as well. But the whole drag and drop mechanism and no locks on the songs, I could get the whole CD of this Mozart, for example, that I added, and these are all lossless video files or music files. And so it's really cool in that regard. If you just want to drag and drop, you can put it in folders and change the folder names. As far as making a playlist, though, that gets a little more complicated, that you have to use the internal software, which I'll show you in a second. There might be another way of doing this. Maybe there's a program that can easily place those in, but I've yet to find it yet. Now note this is also a video player, and it's also a recorder, so let's go ahead and play.
DrewTalks.
So there's the audio recorder. So obviously if you're using this for like a class, like you're recording a lecture, or you just need to record something or remember like a memo, it actually does a pretty decent job. This test music is really weird. It's just music that comes on it. You can actually get rid of this. It's just stock, comes with, it's like some guy doing like a podcast or something. That's where your records are. Scans, I believe, are like pictures and things, because this screen does show pictures and video, but just not very well. And so drag and drop is great, but as far as organization, not great. And that's actually the problem with a lot of MP3 players on the market even today. While you will find many of the typical contenders out there, Sony, Apple, but again, I don't know if you want to support Apple or not, and $200 for MP3 player is just freaking ridiculous. The SanDisk Sport Clip actually is probably my best go-to if you want something maybe a little more easy, user-friendly. It's light for exercise. I'd probably recommend this one as well, but it's plastic, it's cheap. You do need a micro SD card. It doesn't have any built-in storage. I guess it starts with 8 gigabytes, which isn't too bad. But the list, you see the same ones over and over again, depending on what list you're looking at. It's almost like these are being written by the same people. But yeah, if I were you, and you have the money, yeah, go with the Apple iPod, go with the Zune, go with the Sony. But you're going to be spending over $100. And there you go, best value, the M350. And there you go, best for running. I would agree, because this one's a little more sweat-proof. It's lighter. That really is it's a nice one. There it is again. Look at that, got second place. Yeah, the earphones that come with this thing are garbage. Look at that, second place in this roundup.
So, is this a good budget option for you? Yeah, for sure, especially given the price tag. So if you're looking for a nice cheap MP3 player, here you go. Especially with phones now not having headphone jacks, there might be a renaissance of MP3 players for those people who want to make use of their sports headphones and not go wireless or Bluetooth. To me, there's something about not worrying about charging your device and just having it ready to go. Something like this has a long battery life, and then you can plug in your headphones so you don't have to worry about your headphones being plugged. Now, water resistant. This obviously has holes in it, both for the microphone and the speaker. However, not on purpose, I dropped this in a pool of water, a little kiddie pool, and I pulled it right out immediately. It was barely in there. Think of it like dropping it in your toilet really fast. Hopefully there's nothing in there, but you pull it out. And it actually survived. I had no issues whatsoever. Everything is still functioning on this thing. So while not waterproof, it has slight water resistance, but I don't know about any kind of IP standards. So how am I going to conclude this? As far as a running substitute, I'm still a little worried about it because it is actually heavier than this, and they don't make a lot of aftermarket cases for this. That being said, me dropping in the pool doesn't make me so worried about it being sweat resistant. The other thing with being a metal unibody, I really think that it's going to resist a lot of scratching, jumping around in a bicycle a bicycle bag or your pocket, things like that. However, for those runners out there, you can really feel something like this unless it's strapped to your body. So you might want to get a strap for this and then it'd be fine. But if you're just going to have it in your pocket bouncing around, it might actually bounce around quite a bit. Those students putting in backpacks, yeah, that's cool. Keeping it in your car, yeah, I think that'd be fine. And I think it would handle heat really well being in a metal enclosure like this. So I think it has a lot of applications, and don't be afraid, even though it's made overseas and you feel like it might be not made very well. That's where all these were made initially, right? Overseas. So they have the manufacturing capabilities, and if you want to save a few dollars, you can absolutely go with something like this. Now there's not warranties or anything like that, but you're buying this thing more of a, it's cheap. If you lose it, you're not gonna be upset for the whole day. Always back up your MP3s though, have them on external hard drive, and then you can always just, retransfer them over so easily. So, let me do my conclusion list that great construction, good sound quality, and a lot of freedom in this device as far as how you manage your files. The downside, it's a little heavier as far as if you're going to be using this for running, and it's cheap. The menu is not like amazing, it's not as intuitive or well, this wheel, it's not as dialed in those regards, and it is, micro USB. But anyways, that's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.